It's that whole thing we've talked about, fill yourself so that you can overflow for your students, so you're excited.
Hello, and welcome to the Arts of Language podcast with Andrew Pudewa, founder of the Institute for Excellence in Writing, or as many like to say, IEW. My name is Julie Walker, and I'm honored to serve Andrew and IEW as the Chief Marketing Officer. Our goal is to equip teachers and teaching parents with methods and materials which will aid them in training their students to become confident and competent communicators and thinkers. So, Andrew, summer is coming and all the teachers of the world are rejoicing because they get a break.
They do. And even some parents feel like they get a break.
Yes. Yeah. Teaching parents definitely, hopefully, get a break if they're taking the summer off.
So the big question, of course, is what are you going to do with all that time?
Exactly. Well, and I was just thinking, I'm a kind of a fan of Stephen Covey and his 7 principles of effective people, how to be more effective. And one of his principles is sharpen the saw. Have you heard of this before?
I have not, but I'm not necessarily a fan of the same kinds of books that you are. However, sharpening the saw seems like a rather complicated undertaking to me. Like, how would you sharpen a saw? Do you use a file? Do you use a Acme saw sharpener?
Okay, so to me, it's a metaphor.
Oh,
Nothing
okay.
more than that.
I know, but I just get confused.
Right. So, and actually, I've also heard it called sharpening the hoe. So if you're weeding a garden and your hoe is sharp, it's much more efficient for you to knock out those weeds.
Well, I can imagine sharpening a hoe better than a saw.
Okay.
But what I really like to do is sharpen my kitchen knives.
Okay. Well, now we're not talking about a metaphor anyway. But the idea is the same, though. If you have a sharp kitchen knife, it's easier for you to do your job.
Absolutely. Makes
Right.
all the difference in the world.
It's absolutely true. As a fellow cook, I love a set of sharp knives. In fact, Andrew, I just got this new set of knives where every time you put the knife in the holder, it sharpens it.
Okay, all I have to say is don't mention the brand.
I know, right?
Or I will get pummeled with advertisements for this particular thing.
It has happened in the past, but I'll put a link in the show notes. It's not an affiliate link, but it's a great set of knives. But the whole idea is keep yourself sharp so that when you go into the fall and start teaching again, you are equipped and you can do it much more easily.
Yeah, and it's that whole thing we've talked about, fill yourself so that you can overflow
Exactly.
for your students, so you're excited.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we here at IEW, of course, we are huge fans of the Teaching, Writing, Structure, and Style video course that Andrew did. Well, when you first did it, it was
27
years ago, and now we've done it 7 years ago. Did it 7 years ago. And so it's very enjoyable to watch. You're funny, you've got jokes, and it's so informative. I have personally seen the Teaching, Writing, Structure, and Style training course live with you teaching at least a half a dozen times because I used to host it. I used to have you before I worked directly for you. And then after I started working for you, I would go to some of those seminars, and I was there to sell books, but I would often sneak in the back and sit in the back because every time I watched it, I learned something new. And so that would be our first recommendation is even if you've watched it, but especially if you've never watched it, if you're teaching the structure and style approach with your students, whether it's you're a parent teacher or a classroom teacher, go ahead and get a set of DVDs or the Forever Streaming or the premium membership and watch Andrew Pudewa teach the Teaching, Writing, Structure, and Style.
And that's your advice.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not bad advice, but it's kind of hard to be motivated to do something like this, right? Because, I mean, how many people wake up in the morning and say, I want to watch a video for at least an hour so I can learn better how to teach writing to kids.
Okay.
It's kind of going to be a side burner thought for many people.
But we've enhanced and improved the experience by now doing the Teaching Writing Structure and Style Great Adventure. We do that every summer. And this is an event that we do on our Facebook page. I think we also have a video on YouTube as well, where you and actually this year it's a member of our schools division team, Evan, is going to
do most of them, yeah.
Yes, so he is going through the Teaching, Writing, Structure, and Style along with all these other teachers, and the two of you are going to have a conversation every Monday at noon during the summer, and during the course of that, you'll talk about what Evan has learned, if he has any questions for you, if any of our participants have any questions. And here's the fun thing, always a game with me because, I'm a game person.
Yes.
We are giving away prizes for those that attend the Teaching, Writing, Structure, and Style Great Adventure. And we're doing this for 9 weeks this summer.
9 weeks. And that corresponds, of course, with the 9 units.
Yep, exactly.
And so it's a way that you can join a virtual community.
Exactly.
And do something you may not think you want to do, but do it anyway because everyone else is.
Right, exactly.
And we're bribing people with prizes.
No,
we're creating a motivational system.
Yeah.
Bribery is when you pay people to do things that are illegal or immoral. Hopefully this is neither.
No, I don't think so.
And the other aspect is not just watching the videos, but doing the practicum exercises.
Absolutely, yep.
And I would guess that there are some listeners, if not quite a number of listeners, who have watched some or maybe even all of the TWSS course, but never actually did all the practicum assignments.
Right.
And I don't know, what can you say? If you do it, you learn it so much better.
It's true.
Than if you just listen, right? What's the old saying? Tell me and I hear, but help me do it and I learn.
Right.
I don't think that's quite the right quote, but that idea. And again and again, I've met people who haven't had as much success with our program as they would have wished. And I query them. Did you do the practicum assignments? And most often they have to say, well, kind of, or well, not really. So this great adventure, I don't know, I think adventure is maybe a little bit hyperbole, but on the other way, it's like the going out, right? The venturing into something that may or may not be comfortable, but you're stronger as a result.
Hard work is immensely satisfying. That's what I told my kids growing up. Yeah.
Yes, I've heard you say that to me when I don't want to do something. So part of the goal of doing this over the 9 weeks this summer is to get those practicum assignments done each week. And then at the end, you can put them all in one little portfolio kind of package. Well, you don't have to mail it.
No, but we do have a way that, I'll let you finish what you're going to say.
They submit it to us.
Yes.
And then we check and say, yes, you did everything the way it's supposed to be done.
Yep. Or not. Because if you didn't, you don't.
Yeah. It's the A or I grading model.
Exactly.
It's either accomplished and accepted or incomplete.
Right. And if you do submit them to us, and there's a little fee attached to this, you can become an accredited instructor through IEW.
Okay, so I have a super self-serving question here. If we give people prizes, are those prizes likely to include a coupon to cover the cost of becoming an accredited instructor?
Well, it is. They do win a gift certificate, and they can use that toward anything from our IEW bookstore, including paying for their accreditation, which is just a nominal $50 fee, and it pretty much just covers the cost of someone evaluating and scrutinizing your submission.
Right, just to look at it.
Because we want to make sure that we are putting our stamp of approval on someone who actually has gone through the course, they've demonstrated they know this well enough to be able to do the assignments themselves.
Right. And then just real quickly, what are the benefits of being an IEW accredited instructor?
Well, one of the things that they get is basically a badge that they can put on their website or on their Facebook page or whatever. If they're offering instruction, it shows that they know what they're talking about.
And on a resume or a
exactly.
vita or something.
And then we also include their name and what classes they might be offering on our website. We say, these are our accredited instructors, and we have hundreds of them, Andrew. And we know that they know our system well enough, and we can vouch for them, and we put them on their website. Now, we're not going to spend much time talking right now, like 2 more sentences. We have different levels of accreditation. If you just submit the practicum assignments, you are at the lowest level, the registered level, but hey,
that's the starting point.
It is a starting point.
And the link would be IEW.com/IC. Just the 2 letters.
Yep.
Okay, so that might motivate a few people who have been procrastinating or flat out just never having time. Well, now you've got summer, got a little more time, you've got community, and you've got Evan to commiserate with.
Yes, exactly. Well, and I do want to mention one other opportunity, and this is not a free one. The Great Adventure is completely free. You do need to have the teaching, writing, structure, and style materials to be able to go through the course. But this structure and style writing workshop, this is a 4-day paid seminar for our IEW school teachers. And Linda Mikottis, our lead implementation coach, takes teachers through the teaching, writing, structure, and style and how they would apply it to their classroom. And of course, you are a part of that in the sense that the teachers are also watching the teaching, writing, structure, and style. And part of what these teachers receive is a coupon code to be able to apply for accreditation. So it's all included in the price. Okay. There is, like I said, a fee associated with this, but you do get all the materials that you need to go through this course. And we assume that the people that are going through this course have no prior experience with IEW.
Good.
But we also know, just like I said at the beginning, if you've gone through it before, you will get something more out of it. And if you've gone through it before, contact our schools division and you can find out how you can enroll at a lower cost if you already have the materials.
Okay, yeah. So what are the dates of the
Structure and Style Writing Workshop?
Yes.
We actually have 2 dates for teachers of grades 3 through 12.
Okay.
And by the way, this is virtual. This is an online writing conference.
But it's live.
But it is live, yes. So June 21st to the 24th is the first one. And then July 26th to the 29th is the second one. And again, this is a teaching, writing, structure, and style for grades 3 to 12. We also have an opportunity for primary teachers of grades K1 and 2, to attend a primary writing with structure and style workshop. And that's July 12th through the 15th. And that's also a virtual workshop, but the teaching, writing, structure, and style course is not a part of it because a lot of what you teach in the teaching, writing, structure, and style workshop is geared for older students.
Right. And Linda does such a great job
she does.
On that primary
so much energy.
Content.
Yep.
So very pleased to be able to offer that. And, she used to do a bunch of them in different locations around the country. And then during the 2021 years, that was impossible. And we discovered that the virtual participation was really more convenient in many ways for lots of people.
Yep.
So it's 4 days. It's not all day, every day for 4 days. There's breathing room in there. But we had such good feedback on that.
Yep.
And there's really such a benefit to being able to ask questions and hear answers and think more slowly about exactly how you would do this in your teaching situation.
Yep.
And a lot that Linda adds in about managing, a 5-day-a-week full-time classroom situation.
Yep.
So, yeah, lots of good reasons.
So one other quick thing I want to mention that might be easy for a teacher to do, easier than some of these things, is get one of our Fix-It grammar books and go through it yourself.
That is such a good idea. I have heard so many people say, I went through this Fix-It book myself, and not that I learned a whole lot of new things, but it clarified a lot about grammar. So, yeah, probably the average teacher would be very comfortable at Fix-It level 3.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yep.
And if you really wanted to challenge, you could go above that. But, yeah, the Fix-It good. And then if anyone's got, a lot more time, they could listen to our entire library of podcasts.
They could.
How many episodes would that be?
I think we're on episode 324 right now. Oh, but we have this exploding ladder, Andrew.
Oh.
Do you know the exploding ladder?
So how many have exploded?
I'm not sure, but basically we got rid of some of the earlier ones to make room for the later ones.
Okay, well, at least 200 episodes.
Yep.
That's only 100 hours of time. You can squeeze that in easily.
Especially if you listen to it at double time. There you go. All right, everybody. Hope that helps, and sharpen your saws this summer.
Or your kitchen knives.
Thanks so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, please subscribe to our podcast in iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or Spotify, or just visit us each week at iew.com/podcasts. Here you can also find show notes and relevant links from today's broadcast. One last thing. Would you mind going to iTunes to rate and review our podcast? This really helps other smart, caring listeners like you find us. Thanks so much.